After more than a week, I've finally been reassigned to my regular truck. So it was nice this morning to welcome Matilda back to her parking spot. Here's something I haven't included in the video heretofore. Road apples! This is a common occurrence in this part of the country. This stretch of road had some of the most beautiful colors I noticed when I was videoing this fall. And I already have been on this road this morning. And then it turns out there was a mix-up with an appointment, and instead of being there at 7 in the morning, somebody was supposed to be there at 7 tonight. It wasn't going to be me, but anyway, I took that one back home, and it isn't that far, about an hour and 45 minutes. So today I've already been there and back. I had a second stop, so I went back to the yard and they took the first stop off. It was 2/3 of the truck. And so now I'm much lighter with just the nose of the trailer full of ice cream. Behind that, the part that didn't get delivered this morning was eggnog. And it always excites me when it's eggnog season. That would have been my second load of eggnog, and I have another load technically tomorrow morning, but tonight, and I got to report at 12:45. And then I'm going to Keesby, New Jersey with a load of iced tea and lemonade, which is a normal thing to do. If you've followed me for a while, I'm often going there. And I wanted to follow up a little bit from yesterday, and I just started editing yesterday, so I'm not quite sure what the end result is going to be. But I know it's going to includes, because you've probably already had access to it, it includes a scene from Deadpool, where Deadpool kills his arch nemesis, Ajax Francis. I had to look that up. And I didn't remember this part, but there was a little speech by one of his allies, one of Deadpool's allies, and it was that you should take pity on your enemies. Like, you only have 4 or 5 moments in your life to truly define yourself. And that goes with things I've noticed with Harry Potter. When Dumbledore talks to Harry Potter, he says things like, well, it's the choices you make. That's what really matters. And as you come to those defining moments, there are conventional ways you're supposed to handle yourself. And they had exaggerated music, if you watch yesterday's, and it was a very pious kind of setting. And then right in the midst of it, Ryan Reynolds just blew the guy's brains out. And it was hilarious. It was perfect. And then the guy making the speech was like miffed. Why'd you do that? Well, you were droning on. And the point yesterday was that you can be just without being vindictive. Like, you can mete out justice, and it's different than in anger getting somebody back for something awful they've done to you. Now, there was a mixture. It's interesting because Ryan Reynolds in real life deals with anxiety and other mental health problems, and the character of Deadpool deals with anxiety. You can feel it. It's one of the most interesting aspects of that character. And for Deadpool to become a superhero, he had to spend the night in an oxygen deprivation chamber, which is a fearful thing. It's probably one of the things that scares people the most. It's like waterboarding. It was like being waterboarded all night long. And facing the fear is what brought him into his strength. So that's why I think it's good to be grateful when someone or something causes you to face your anxieties square on. That, in this case, was Ajax Francis, and he did it without consent. Kind of like in the movie V for Vendetta, when the girl, the beautiful girl in the story is tortured by V, and she doesn't consent. She doesn't even know it's V, and he does it, he says, for her own good, so that she'll learn never to be afraid again. And it's weird because she seems grateful, which I wouldn't be, and Deadpool wasn't. So when the moment came, Deadpool blew the Nemesis' brains out, and there was no remorse. Now, if he did it in anger or fear, anger is rooted in fear, then maybe that's a problem. Probably it's a problem. But if you can release the fear, if you can release the resentment and the anger you feel towards your enemy, you probably can dispatch the enemy justly with no remorse. Because then it isn't vengeance, then it's just justice. Sort of like when I was going to say murdered in cold blood, but no, when I dispatched the rabbits that I grew for me. I had nothing against the rabbits. I had no anger or resentment towards them. Shouldn't have, because they were cute and did nothing wrong. And, you know, that might be disturbing. And it is, because in this life we can't live without harming. And the rabbits were harmed. But I didn't do it out of malice. I did it because I want to keep living. And it seems like a cop-out when we buy our meat at the store and let someone else do the killing for us. The harvesting, sometimes. I remember watching a YouTube channel where I learned how to butcher rabbits. And they would say kill, and then they would edit it and say harvest the rabbits. Because apparently we struggle with it, as we should. As perhaps Deadpool should have. But I don't see a problem. Because what he said was, that guy isn't going to hurt anybody, or something to that effect. And that's a good reason to take someone out. You're helping that person's karma, because they're not going to continue to harm other people. I think when that happened in the movie, it was better than leaving that guy to keep harming. I've been thinking about it for myself, and I would say that I'd have no trouble making sure that enemies were not allowed to keep harming, and I would do it, of course, within the law, the confines of the law. But I also would say that enemies of mine and other enemies in general who have victims should not expect their victims to look the other way and to be nice about everything. The victims can let go of the anger and the resentment, and that's very healing. It's a very good thing to do. But that doesn't mean the perpetrators are safe. Perpetrators should never feel safe in our culture. And that sounds, it's not pacifistic, and I'm not a pacifist. I think that is an interesting point to ponder. I'd be really interested in knowing what you think about it. I've come to the conclusion recently that my only job in life or in death or anywhere my self happens to be, my only job is not to be afraid. And if there are jobs to do after that, after there is no fear left, the annihilation, the eradication of all fear within me, then I'll see what else there is to do. But in the meantime, it isn't job one to be kind or considerate or helpful or friendly or live a life of service or heroism. My only point is to stop being afraid. And in doing that, I'll be free to be kind and courageous and helpful and all those other things, encouraging. But I don't owe anybody those things. If I have a debt to pay, it's to myself. And that only debt is to learn not to be afraid. To pay myself back for living so long in fear, robbing myself of all the happy moments and treasures. Because fear kills everything. So until that job is done, I don't care about the others. And in not caring about the others, I probably will end up being able to do them a lot better. Without a messiah complex, without any kind of weirdness. Without any thought of reciprocity. That's kind of a sick aspect of humanity. Is doing things in hopes that somebody will do something kind back or good back, beneficial back. That's what nice guys do. If you haven't watched any of the opening episodes, I laid out a lot of information about nice guys and all of the ways they try to obligate people to do things for them by being nice. Covert contracts. They don't actually have agreements with other people. They just do things in hopes that the other people will reciprocate. It leads to a lot of very not nice aspects of nice guys. This little town is called Nottingham. They have a slow speed limit, but they do have really glorious holiday lighting. And it's November 16th today as I speak. And so when I came through here in the dark this morning, I was almost disappointed that it wasn't quite soon enough to see the lights. But I bet you I'll come through here because a lot of places are south of Lancaster that we deliver to. And I'll be able to film video, and no film involved, and you'll be able to see the lights. I hope they're as spectacular as the first time I came through here. I had no idea what to expect. When I think about what it would be like for my own self not to have any fear, I can go on and on about all the benefits, about all the ways that my life would change, about all the ways that people around me would change the way they interact with me, and the way life itself would just alter. One person who stops being afraid can alter everything else through the ripple effect. But as I often do, I think about what would happen if the collective figured it out. For example, if the collective all at once learned what I'm learning about fear, and all
In 3
found a
quarters of
way,
a mile, turn right on Barnsley Road.
and all found a way to eradicate it. Everything politically, everything in the way power works would shift instantly. And if you're contemplating eradicating your own fears, there are big reasons, macro reasons, as well as micro reasons to do so. I don't feel missionary zeal about it. I don't feel like getting a following and having disciples and all that to try to get everyone to jump on the bandwagon. I noticed in some of the YouTube channels I watch that the YouTube content creators can make compromises, I think, with their integrity when they work at getting more followers. I kind of enjoyed the fact that I don't have very many followers right
Barnsley
now.
Road.
I had a lot more followers when I was talking about politics all the time, and they pretty much all abandoned me when I stopped talking about politics, because I put my content on my old channel and linked it to this channel. But that isn't what is going to grab a lot of people's attention. And even though a lot of people suffer from anxiety, I don't think a lot of people are going to come running to anything I have to say about it, because I'm not trying to do it that way. I'm just working on myself. But if people did find their way here and found benefit, and the word spread through what I'm saying, I'd have to work at continuing to be happy myself, continuing not to think about other people's reactions to what I'm saying, but to just individually figure things out and to continue to do that. I don't know how it would all work out. I don't think it easily would work out if somebody were in good faith trying to figure this out, and at the same time trying to reach a lot of people with it. It's funny because I tried to deliver this ice cream a few days ago, and I got there after they were done because I had a first stop where they took a long time to unload me. So I was thinking, oh no, 2 days I'm not going to be able to deliver this ice cream. But looks like I'll get there before their frozen people leave. Apparently the frozen people are way overbooked, because I've been here a couple hours and I still don't have a door yet. I've noticed that they can't finish unloading me if they don't start unloading me. The leaves were really spectacular through here, and I remember taking video of this. So just a couple episodes ago, you could go back and see some of the colors from this corridor. And if that's the only thing you got from it, it would be worth it.